Good morning. Just a quick little coffee talk. My dog is over there literally chasing his own tail right now, but don't know how long that's going to last. Pardon the squeaking. That'll probably come up because he's got a squeaky toy, which is better than the bottom of my pajama pants right now. How's everybody doing out there? Coffee's warm. Getting ready to take him for a little ride and then head over to my brother's for brunch. He invited me over for brunch today. So that's going to be nice. One of my favorite social media influencers that I have been following for years. As soon as I have watched her rise from very meager beginnings. Aja Barber has deactivated her Instagram, which is where I found her, was on Instagram. She talks about sustainable fashion. It's her thing. She's now written a lot of books, and it's been exciting watching her. She's one of those people that I talked about yesterday that I'm like, every time I see her, I'm rooting for her. And she really has made it. She speaks on major panels now. She's making a living off of this. And she's an American woman living in London, married a Londoner, and moved there, and is very, very passionate about that work. She just announced that she deactivated her Instagram for many of the reasons that I deactivated my YouTube. As disheartening as that is in one way, it is a sign that there's change ahead. The inmates are running the asylum, in too many places. And people are, like I said, people just get burnt out from trolling and abusive behavior online that is just really unwarranted. And people do it because they can. That's it. There's a lot of miserable people out there, and because they can sign on to something for free and pick a target and vomit all over that person, they do it because they can, and because they can't go out in public and do that, and they wouldn't. So, but this is what I was thinking about this morning, and then I'm gonna read you a poem. We used to be able to smoke in airplanes. Things have been very, very toxic. Things have been normalized in our culture that have completely turned around. Remember that? I mean, some of you are too young to notice that or to know that. Sorry, he's coming around me. Got to feed him. Got to treat this guy so he'll chill. Anyway, you picked a smoking or non-smoking section of an airplane. And airplane armrests had ashtrays in them. And we all, even though it was years and years and years. I mean, the 80s, this was still happening. I smoked with my sister sometimes. She smoked, and I would occasionally, I wasn't ever a really super avid smoker, but I was a social smoker with her. And we would just get the smoking section and sit in an airplane, have a cigarette. So that was like the 80s. That's not that long ago that we thought that was okay. And by the 80s, it was well known how bad smoking was for you. And non-smokers were sitting in airplanes with recirculated air, breathing cigarette smoke that was being, it's funny to laugh at now. And then people really rebelled against that, the tantrums, around that. And now, it's ridiculous. You go to jail for lighting up a cigarette in a bathroom of an airplane. So change does happen with things that we normalize in a culture. And I am hoping that, change is coming in this social media world, because really, toxic behavior is ruining it for people that really are benefiting. I'm benefited for many years. I subscribe to her Patreon, and I follow her in other places, and there's this Substack. I don't know anything about it now. I think she's going over there. So that's another option. But, I guess it all boils down to money. And what's happening is, in places, YouTube is becoming kind of like Reddit, the toxic waste dump of Reddit. That's what it feels to me. And have at it, because I don't ever go to Reddit. I go to Reddit for one thing, which is to see what people are guessing for the mystery movie on Mondays. That's it. It's just toxic waste dump over there. And YouTube is sort of becoming like that, which those places can exist. Let them exist, because of course we don't have to go there. It doesn't cross my path, so I don't have to know anything about anything. And YouTube may become like that. or it may become kind of a different platform. I guess they're showing just a lot of, one of my friends is watching a lot of free movies on YouTube. And we did the other day too, because he's been sending me like, did you know this is on YouTube and that, which is really cool. So maybe it'll become more like that than this sort of platform for people that are getting trolled and bullied off the app, And so anyway, that was just a bit, it was a gut punch to see that this morning, that she's deactivated her Instagram. I don't think she's on YouTube. And she's going elsewhere. And, she's just had it. And she's a badass. And so anyway, it's I think change is afoot is my point. Because part of what is happening in these formats is that people are getting rewarded for this behavior. So if they decide to start a campaign of hate, and then they attract all those people that love to participate in that, they're now getting what they need in terms of engagement to make money off these vulnerable, miserable people. And so it's reinforced. And if YouTube wants to do that, fine. We can choose to go elsewhere. So I think that is where things are headed, that there's going to be other platforms that have boundaries in place, that feel safe to people, that people can go to get what they want without having to navigate a toxic swamp to do it. It's not okay. And I keep talking about it because, it's normalized, and I just don't think we shouldn't have been smoking on airplanes and subjecting the non-smokers to recirculated cigarette smoke. This should not be normalized either. Let the toxic, negative Nancys go bitch and moan elsewhere, but they're polluting it for people that really want to sincerely connect with each other and sincerely want to impart. Oh my God, he's knocking something over. He just found a stack of something. Impart something that other people want to learn from and experience. So I think change is afoot. I do think change is afoot. And so this is a good thing. Systems have to dismantle sometimes for new things to arise between the cracks. And I think that's happening right now. I think there's like enough is enough and when that happens with large influencers that have millions of people following them, that have, a career out of it, all the power to them, because they are paving the way for just a hobbyist like me to be able to feel safe and not just trying to manage in a toxic swamp. Anyway, so there's that. That's sort of bad news, good news, I think, ultimately. I'm going to take this little guy for a ride this morning before I go to brunch at my brother's. And I'm going to get him in the car. He was freaking wild last night. I mean, the biting was out of control. And John wasn't here. We call him Alpha Dad. And he wasn't here to kind of Alpha Dad him. And I was just pulling every single thing I had out of all my pockets to try to deal with this biting. And it wasn't working very well. This morning is better. I had such a good night's sleep of crazy dreams. I can't wait to talk to my friend Susie, because, oh my God, I had a dream with Susie where I was talking to her as this shop owner about getting a present for my friend Susie, and that like maybe she could make this fascinator. I wanted to get a fascinator for my friend Susie, and what would go with her coloring, and wouldn't that be perfect? And there was one that was made, but I'm like, yeah, that's not really her colors, the pastels, like, let's think. And then all of a sudden I realized she is Susie. It's like the very person I'm talking to about getting the fascinator to make the fascinator for my friend is Susie. It's just crazy. I woke up, I'm like, it was just nutty. And it's just all made perfect sense in the dream, right? Went on and on and on. Can't wait to tell her about this crazy dream. Maybe she needs to start making fascinators in her flower shop. So I'm going to read you a poem now, because this guy's getting a little riled up, and I want to, I don't know. I just went looking for something. I found this poem and I thought I would read it. So hang in there with me with Mr. Wild Child here. Mary Oliver. called Don't Hesitate is the name of this poem. And then I'm going to go on I'm not going to hesitate and go on my merry way here because Mr. Wildchild is going to demand it. Don't Hesitate by Mary Oliver. If you suddenly and unexpectedly feel joy, don't hesitate. Give into it. There are plenty of lives and whole towns destroyed or about to be. We are not wise and not very often kind, and much can never be redeemed. Perhaps this is its way of fighting back, that sometimes something happens better than all the riches or power in the world. It could be anything. But very likely you notice it in the instant when love begins. Anyway, that's often the case. Anyway, whatever it is, don't be afraid of its plenty. Joy is not made to be a crumb. Mary Oliver strikes again. Hope you enjoyed. I'm going to sign off because, come here. The mad pup of Lewisburg is getting wild. Isn't he cute though? But doesn't he kind of look like Max in the face? I'm so curious. He's getting big. And I did some puppy calculator thing that said he was going to get to be 35 pounds. He was supposed to get to be 20 pounds. But at this age and weight, they're saying 35. That's a much bigger dog than I thought we were going to have. But he'll get to whatever he's going to get to. But don't you just I love his little smooth face. I thought all cockapoos had that fluffy face. But no, some of them have this little smooth face. And I love that I love that you can see his little nose, his snout. All right, he's starting to bite. I'll catch you guys later. Have a great Sunday. And that's it for today. Cheers. Bye for now. Okay, boo-boo. Okay, buddy.